Hi, my name is Christina Jones. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. And if you're not new here, well, welcome back. I've talked about it on this channel before, but one of my, greatest frustrations throughout my career has been kind of a lack of available information. There was no roadmap for me. There was no blueprint, in terms of how to successfully be an indie author. When I started, this landscape was very sparse in terms of the information that was available to me, that I could follow and use the resources that were available in order to help me build my career. And oftentimes we see these things and we have these feelings and we figure out how to overcome them and all of that, and we push through and we persevere, but it doesn't change the fact that what I needed at that time was not available for me. And all of this all of this is to say that I am going to be launching a new series here on the channel. And the purpose of this series is so that no one else who comes behind me, and I know that these videos aren't going to reach everybody, but I want to just reach as many people as I possibly can who have this same problem of not knowing what to do, how to do it, when to do it, or anything like that. My goal with all of this is that you can't say nobody ever told you. You can't say nobody ever gave you nothing. No, because CCJ taught you. So one of my biggest, pet peeves, well, I won't say biggest, it's not that big of a pet peeve, but it is a pet peeve, is when people present themselves as an expert on a topic without necessarily having the experience to back it up. It's something that's rampant on the internet these days. You know, there's always somebody willing to teach you how to be a millionaire without actually being a millionaire, etc., etc., etc. And so what I want to do is something that actually makes me deeply uncomfortable. But I'm going to do it anyway, because one of the things that we're going to talk about is stepping outside of your comfort zone. But I want to let you guys know, if you're going to be watching this, these are the reasons why I'm qualified for you to listen to me. I definitely don't think that you should only listen to me. That's not where I'm going with that, because there's no one certain way to publish. There's no one certain way to find that success. But I know what has garnered me the success that I've had, and I'm willing to give you that information. And here's why my information is good information. I wrote and published my first project in November 2013. I didn't write it in November 2013. I published it in November 2013. Since that time, I have published more than 60 titles, not including any free short stories or anything like that that are available on my website, or any of the shorts that I've done in my Storytime series. None of those are included in that. With those more than 60 titles, I just honestly don't know the exact number. I probably should, but I don't know the exact number. But over those 60 some odd titles, I've garnered over 86 million page reads on Kindle. And if you don't know what that means, don't worry, we'll talk about it in another video. But in addition to that, in pure book sales, I'm hoping that this year I'm going to pass the 100,000 sales mark. I'm at like 92 right now. So we're going to hope, we're going to hope and fingers crossed and pray, asking God for this blessing to be able to reach this kind of benchmark that I have set for myself of 100,000 book sales. And that does include ebook and paperback, but it does not include the hundreds, potentially thousands of books that I have sold at like events, conventions, trade shows, conferences, etc. Because I just don't know that number. I could probably figure that number out, but who cares? In addition to those ebook and paperback sales, I have commissioned 13 different audiobooks, meaning that these are audiobooks that the rights were not purchased by or licensed by a publisher. These are audiobooks that I commissioned myself. I contacted the narrators, all that good stuff. I've sold more than 10,000 copies of my audiobooks since I started that in late 2019. I don't have an exact date, but late 2019. So in about a year, we'll call it what, a year and a half, just to be safe. Over 10,000 copies of my audiobooks. And so thousands of reviews, which really don't matter. We'll talk about that another time. Well, they matter, but they matter, but they don't. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. So that's my little rundown. That's my little spiel. I'm sure that your favorite traditionally published author probably has numbers that will knock mine out of the water, but it's really not about that. It's about me letting you know that I've been in this. I've been in this. I've been in it for a long time. I have been poking holes in things. I have been trying new things and all of that good stuff. And I'm ready to let you guys know what I've learned along this journey. So with this series, my overall goal is going to be covering the basics and not so basics of building your business as a successful indie author. More than anything, I'm trying to fill a gap. So if you have suggestions, things you want to see, things you have been wondering about, whatever, please, please, please let me know, because I want this to be, I want it to be useful. Like if you're not getting things that you need from it, then I'm not filling in the gap that I'm trying to fill. So if there's something that I haven't covered, something that you really love to see, please, please let me know. Now, I want to be very clear. I do not consider myself an expert. I've done well for myself and I'm proud of the career that I've had and will hopefully continue to have, but I do not know it all. So some of these things are going to be things that I'm still actively working on myself. And that's how I know that they're necessary and useful things, because these are things that are kind of, I won't say blocking me, but they're definitely things that I'm going to need to work through in order to get to the next step of the career that I want to have. Throughout this series, I'm going to be talking to you about things like building a release plan, building merch boxes with really quality content, quality book covers, good habits to build, bad habits to drop. If your book idea has legs, trying to do too much too fast, meaning trying to look like an author who has been doing this for 8 years with a debut. I'm going to talk to you about getting your books into audio. I'm going to talk to you about marketing. I'm going to talk to you about the business of being indie, meaning the financial aspect. I might bring my husband in for that, because he is the one that I don't be knowing about some of that stuff as well. I won't say I don't be knowing, but it's really just not my, it's really not my area of expertise. And I do have help with that. And so I might see if we can get him to kind of come in and help. We'll have a special guest for that particular one. We'll also talk about getting your projects into publishing ebooks versus getting your projects into print, different aggregators. We'll talk about navigating KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing website, all of that. Like, I have a lot to talk to you guys about, and I'm excited about the prospect of doing it. I'm going to be honest, this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but some of these things are so second nature to me that I felt like, okay, maybe that's not really useful to anyone else. But at the urging of a good friend who was like, girl, bye. Like, if you don't tell these folks what they want to know. If you watched other videos on my channel, most specifically, if you watch my latest planning video, I call them planning videos, but I don't really be doing much planning. But anyway, if you watch that video, you remember me mentioning how I wanted to be a resource for my community. Well, here I am, and here we are. So again, I know I keep saying it, but I cannot stress enough. If you have suggestions, please, please, please let me know, because if if I'm not giving you what you actually want or what you actually need, what's the point? So if you're new to the channel, I'm gonna give you the heads up that I'm long-winded, and so just a little heads up for what you can expect throughout these videos. I'm going to give you a lot, but I'm going to do my very best to make sure that it's all, you know, that it's all good stuff, all stuff that you need. And I'll see you guys next week for the first video. Bye.